So I became a millionaire by the age of 30, and I'm very fortunate to be in that position. I'm also very, very grateful. However, I don't think I actually worked especially hard for it. If anything, I felt like I just simply worked on the right things. There's definitely an element of hard work and luck, but I really do believe that you can create your own luck. So there are three main parts that I found when it comes to being a millionaire that I like to call the Trinity System: learning high income skills, building cash flowing assets, and compounding investments. If you guys are interested, make sure to check out the link in the description. I've left a free resource that you guys can check out about the Trinity System and other related stuff. Skill stacking. So when you're in your early 20s, or any age for that matter, it doesn't really matter, learning high income skills should be where most of your time is spent. I've done a video on high income skills, which you guys should definitely check out. But the idea is that you learn skills that help you make money. For me, in my late teens and early 20s, it was learning how to be a UI UX designer and basic HTML and CSS knowledge. However, what I did without even realizing at the time, only now when I look back, is that I was skill stacking. I was learning multiple skills on top of being a designer. So I was learning how to market, copyright, email automation, creative direction, branding, accounting, and just so much more. I was learning everything I possibly could. I wasn't going into massive depth on them, but I was learning enough to get me by. Skill stacking by far is one of the most powerful ways to make yourself unique. You naturally end up combining those skills in ways that others can't. It's what will give you the edge. Figure out how to bring in as much income as possible. So I've mentioned this multiple times in previous videos on the channel. When you're first starting out, you should try and figure out how to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time. So my aim wasn't to become a millionaire when I first started. My aim was just to bring a healthy amount of income every month so that I could be self-sustaining. When I first started making money, it was primarily being a freelancer for other businesses. I would make money designing websites and apps for clients. That was an easy way for me to make money quickly. I was making around $500 a day doing this. However, I quickly came across an issue with this, which I'll cover later on in the video. But the way I would get clients would be sharing my work online, primarily on a website called Dribbble. Dribbble was quite popular, sort of like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But now I think actually if you want to get clients in that sort of space, or in any space really now, it's sharing your work on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. These are the most powerful ways to get new clients. I have friends doing it right now. I have a friend who does some e-commerce stuff of a specific platform, helping brands get on the platform. He manages it for them, and he has a channel with less than 2,000 subscribers, yet he's making like $15,000, $20,000 a month, which just absolutely blows my mind. Focus on increasing your income rather than trying to penny pinch. So too many people focus on trying to save money they're currently earning. However, if you're earning 20, 30, 40 grand a year, there is a limit to how much you can save, because your expenses are going to stay the same. You just can't really change that. But there technically is no limit to how much you can earn. So focusing on how to make enough money to cover your expenses is important. And then going beyond that is even more important. Keeping your expenses low. So at the same time, try and keep your expenses low. A lot of people fall into the trap of thinking now that they earn more money, they should be spending more of it. So many of my friends that I know fell into that same trap. It's just unfortunate. It's just one of those things. Once you start earning more money, you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to upgrade the apartment, I'm going to upgrade the car, I'm going to go on fancy holidays. You just start spending the money. These are huge expenses that will eat into all of your hard-earned money when you could actually be using that money to work for you. Building scalable income. So even though I was making good money from doing freelance work, the biggest issue with it was that I was selling my time. I only have so much time per week to sell, and I could only earn money when I was selling my time, and there was only so much I could charge for my time. I realized early on that I needed to build cash flowing assets. Now that sounds like a big word, cash flowing assets. It sounds like something that requires a big investment. Not at all. A cash flowing asset is something you either make or invest in that makes money that is not directly tied to your time. This can be as small as selling a product, or it can be as big as buying an apartment building and renting the apartments out in that building. Now, I couldn't do the latter, obviously, because I didn't have any money to buy an apartment building, but I knew that I could definitely build digital products. So I started figuring out how to sell digital products. Digital products are some of the most powerful cash flowing assets, as they can make money for you for years after you've made them, and they usually require very little investment compared to other assets, and they also usually require very little maintenance. For example, my store, which has wallpapers, presets, templates, and other related products, is simply a bunch of small assets that continually make me money. It's a portfolio of cash flowing assets. I would highly recommend trying to figure out ways to make scalable income. This is by far the most common way that I've seen people become millionaires in life. They take a product or service and they scale it. If you're watching this video, you're actually already ahead of the curve because most people don't even think about doing things that are scalable. I've made so many videos on my channel regarding digital products, which I would definitely recommend checking out if you're interested in learning more. Compounding. So now that I'm making money, and I have cash flow, it's time to make the money work for me. This is the final step in the Trinity system. I started investing my money as soon as I started making it. Again, like I said earlier, when people start increasing their income, they also naturally like to increase their expenses. This is where self-control is so important and is a must. It is an absolutely vital skill that everyone should have regardless of age. Does that mean you should save every penny and live like a monk? Absolutely not. Like, that's just boring. Everyone should be able to enjoy themselves as well. So a rule I like to keep to myself is that I must save and invest at least half of my income. Now, this probably won't be possible if you're just starting out. However, once your bills are covered, once you're sort of making a good healthy income, this is such a powerful way to absolutely catapult your net worth. I realized that if I invested my money into my own house, stocks and shares, and other businesses, my money can work for me without me having to do anything. My money can make money just sitting there. It just blew my mind. I didn't realize how powerful compounding is. It really is just one of the most powerful things in the world. The most wealthy people in the world are the people who have invested their money into these things. Now, the thing is, legally, I can't tell you what to specifically invest in. Naturally, because there is some sort of risk to any type of investment, and obviously I don't want to be responsible for people losing money or anything like that. So I can't tell you what to invest in. But what I usually like to do is look at what other wealthy people are doing and just copy them. It's really as simple as that. When you see other wealthy people investing in stuff, building businesses, just figuring out how they made their money, I like to copy them. I like to see what they're doing and if I can apply the same principles, the same concepts in my own life. Taking risks. So I do think when you're young, you have the ability to take a lot more risks. You have more time to earn the money back if you just happen to lose it, compared to someone who's maybe in their 50s with a family and retirement not that far away. They can't take as many risks as someone who's in their late teens and early 20s. I've personally taken so many risks in my life. I never went to university. I started learning skills and not knowing exactly how useful they would be. I started a personal brand, I started a YouTube channel. All of these things have risks attached to them because they could have all flopped. I could have invested my time and money into these things and I could have not had any outcome whatsoever. But I knew if there was any time to take these risks, it was in my 20s when I have far fewer responsibilities. And I know that, if something doesn't work, I can just keep trying and trying. So when you combine these three main concepts that I've covered, learning high income skills, building cash flow assets, compounding investments, you have a recipe for success. It's very important to be doing all three at the same time until you want to retire. And when you retire, you can focus on the last one, compounding your investments. The most financially successful people I've met have been able to combine all three. Building and selling digital products has been the most game-changing thing for me personally. If it weren't for me coming up with these infinitely sellable digital assets, I would not be where I am today. If you're interested in being an online creator like myself, I have an online creator course where I share pretty much everything in much more detail and answer people's questions directly as well as mentor them if needed. Something which is very important to remember is that the time it takes for all of this to happen is completely different for everyone. Everyone's timeline is different. I know it's easy to compare yourself to others, but literally it does not matter. Everyone has different circumstances and life is just completely random. Why be upset over something you have no control over? As an adult, you have full control over your own life and your own decisions, and that's what I think matters most. Money doesn't make you happy. So you hear this all the time, and I actually think it's bullshit. I think the people who say this stuff most likely have never been in a position where they've not had any money, or they've used money in a destructive way. When used correctly, money can be used to solve so many problems for yourself and the people around you. Money should be used to amplify your life. It shouldn't become your life. I feel like money is not evil or bad. It's just unfortunate that you see so many people use it in that way. I think money will actually help you identify what's valuable in life. Once pretty much all of your monetary sort of needs are met, you'll be able to focus on what truly makes you happy once you never have to think about bills anymore. I think for me personally, where money really becomes very powerful is that the thing I value most is my own time. I want to be able to do what I want with my own time to a certain extent. Of course, there's only so many things in life where well, there's things in life that you have to do regardless. Like, that's just how life is. But most of my time, I want to just be in control of it. I want to be able to do whatever I want with my time. I want to be able to work on whatever I want to work on, sort of spend time with friends and family whenever I want to. I want to be able to play video games whenever I want to play video games. Like, I just want to have more autonomy over my time. And I realized that having financial freedom gives me that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out one of my other videos. I've done a video on realistic side hustles to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. And I've also done a video on build and sell a digital product in a weekend. So make sure to check those out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.